Now, the concept behind the Waves NX plugins is to let us sit in the mixing space of some of the world's most iconic studios. And the idea is, if we're mixing in headphones, we don't get that awareness of a room around us. We don't have those sources of monitors, either near field or far field. And the NX plugins are supposed to give us that. Now, they've just added up Germano Studios, an iconic recording studio in New York. Some of the world's most famous artists have recorded albums there. We've all heard something that's been laid down in those studios. And so what I'm going to do in this video is help you to see whether or not, in fact, you experience the effect of sitting in a room listening to sound. And to give you the most accurate representation, I've actually set this up so that everything you will be hearing is being recorded through a set of Audio-Technica M50X headphones sitting on my binaural microphone. So this is the output from Germano Studios plugin going through a supported set of headphones. Again, that's everything you're going to hear in terms of music. So the most accurate possible representation that I can give you of what this plugin does. I'll be testing out the different monitors available in the plugin. We'll also look at spatial awareness with using head tracking to see if you can actually feel like the sound's coming from a different angle in that mix position. And ultimately, we'll try 4 different genres of music so you get a real representation. So it doesn't matter whether you're into hip hop, pop country, or metal, there's going to be something for you here. Now, you can get a free trial on this plugin. All you have to do is go to the website. I'll have a link below. You can download the demo and install it. Pretty simple to set that up. Once you've got that in place, go ahead and fire up your DAW. I'm going to use Studio One here. It's going to detect that that plugin's there, and then you'll be ready to go. So now we'll get into our walkthrough on this plugin. And I have 4 demonstrations for you. I have a pop, country rock, hip hop, and metal demo. So those coming up. First of all, I've gone ahead and set this up here in a session. And just so you can see, what I have is the plugin inserted as the very last thing. And that's important with this plugin. It needs to be the very last thing that you insert because, again, the idea is that you can hear whatever is in your session as if you are in the room. So that's kind of one of the first key things. Another thing is you'll see that I have enabled head tracking, and I'm just using a webcam here. It's not my regular camera that I use for these videos. I've just added up a really basic webcam, and you can see it tracking my face around side to side. And the idea is that will allow for positional awareness. When I turn to the side, it'll sound more like the sound is coming from the side or up and down. And you'll get to experience that right away because, of course, all the audio being played through the DAW here, you're hearing it as it's coming out of the M50Xs into my binaural microphone. So I'll just go ahead and minimize that and we can get into it. So I have the plugin set up here. What we do typically is just turn it on. I'm going to give you a demonstration first. I'll put the audio on without the plugin. So I've turned it off and let's have a listen. Okay, and so that's kind of the baseline here. Next thing I'm going to do is turn the plugin on, and we have 3 sets of monitors. So I have it turned on. 3 sets of monitors here. We have the Yamaha NS10s, we have the Germano Audio A2s, and we have the Exigy monitors. So that's the Exigys are these monitors on the wall that's in the studio here. A couple of large subwoofers in them. So we've got near field, we've got far field monitors, really a variety of sounds here. Now, when I turn this on, I'm just going to show you where the levels are because that's an important thing too. So you'll see on either side a level meter. This is what's coming in on the left. This is what's going out. And we want them to be as close to one another as possible for A/B testing. So if we need to make adjustments, we can go to the level control here. You can see it's at 0 right now, or unity. I can back it off if I want to get the levels be a little bit more equal. It's pretty close here right now. Just going to check this out. That looks pretty reasonable on the NS10s. So now let me A/B this a bit for you here. So here we go through the NS10s, and just watch as I turn it off and on.
I'll tell you I'm sorry if you want me back. I'll tell you stop trying. Yeah, yeah, you got me. Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 거짓 over. I see. 한여름에 더 넘겨.
As you can see, it makes quite a bit of a difference in terms of the sound. Not only the EQ profile, but just the idea of the monitors sitting in front of you. Let me switch over to the A2s. A little different profile in the A2s. I find them to be a little tighter bass. And now we'll go into the Exigys.
I'll tell you I'm sorry if you want me back. I'll tell you.
It's a lot fuller low end on this certainly. And hopefully you could hear as I engage the plugin, the sound goes from really being on either side of my head to in front. And hopefully you're picking that up through YouTube as well. Okay, and I'll do one more demonstration here, and I'm just going to turn my head side to side, and I want you to listen for the sound to move. Now, for me, the perception is the sound is coming from in front of me, and if I turn my head, it's more like the sound is coming from the side or from the top or bottom. The other thing I should mention is that in this EQ curve, I've actually configured it for the M50Xs. This plugin supports a few specific headphones, so I wanted to choose a supported headphone so you could hear, again, the sound through the curve that's applied to that headphone, again, representing the various studio monitors. Of course, whatever headphones you're using, they're going to color the sound. It's going to be a little different, but this is as close as I can get it so that you can actually hear what's happening in this plugin. So let me turn this back on, and I'll move my head around and just listen for the change in position of the sound source and kind of just the room ambience. So hopefully that translated. Again, for me, it definitely sounds like the monitors are in front of me on the monitor bridge for the NS10s. In this case, I've got the Exigys. They seem to be a little higher up in the image. So I'm getting that response just like the picture on the screen here. Now we'll switch over. Let's try some country rock out. And here we go. I've loaded up another session here with country rock. Let's listen without the plug-in again as a bass line. And now I'm going to kick in the plug-in on the NS10s. And once again, try to listen for the position of the monitors as I switch between the three different choices we have. And then also, as I said, I'll move my head around so you can get a sense of that perception. Okay, and I've tried to balance out the sound. The Exigys tend to be a little louder, I've found, than the others here, so there's not perfect gain matching between the two necessarily. So I've tried to adjust that down a bit just so you have a similar for A/B. So now I'll go in and out with the plug-in. And again, hopefully you can pick up that positional difference. Now I'll turn my head. And again, hopefully you could pick up that difference in the sound here. Definitely this you're getting some positional awareness. I can't be sure if this is exactly what it sounds like in the mixed position at Germano Studios because I haven't been there and I haven't been able to A/B this. But what I can tell is that definitely there is a positional awareness. I can see those monitors out there. I'm going to throw the NS10s around and I'll do that head movement again for you. And hopefully you could pick up on that difference again with the head movement. It's going to be a little different than if you're moving your head and sensing the speakers or the sound source coming from one area of the room. Here, it's like the speakers are moving around your head, but still should give you an idea of sort of the awareness of what this plugin actually does. Now let's hop over into the hip hop session and check that out. Okay, and so here we go. Again, I'll start it out with the plugin turned off, and then I'll add it on with the NS10s.
One time like
to get that sense of the near field monitors on the bridge in front here. Let's switch over to the A2s. And so one of the biggest uses of this plugin, again, A/B between the various monitors to get the sound, even turning it off to get the headphone.
I could probably fit your needs in it. What y'all know about that country from by the river's edge? Thought I told you colder than a winter out in Winnipeg. Popping like you better be when you the proper.
And let's move over to the Exigys.
While I'm chewing on that sesame. Know that God blessing me so they can't get the.
Now you'll notice the levels again came up with the Exigys a bit. That's of course because of the added bass response of these speakers. So you just have to be aware when you're A/Bing with the Exigys, you're going to get a little extra volume here. You need to turn that down. Unfortunately, it's not automatic, so it makes it a little tough to go back and forth between them, but just something to be aware of.
I don't need no plan B. Only give a about my freedom and my family. Keep it playing, keep it pushing, keep them guessing, keep them looking, keep my people out the booking, cause we legendary. I just talk it how I live it. If I said it, then I mean it. If I did it, then I did it, cause it's necessary. Keep it G and keep it true to you. Just act like this ain't new to you. I treat it like it's usual, we legendary. I just get it how I live it. If I said it, then I mean it. If I did it, then I did it, cause it's necessary. Look, all my fresh up out the mud like a mineral. Riding with them soldiers, they salute me like a general. Hit the coast of Florida, feeling sorta like a Seminole. No exaggeration, all my literature be literal. Little do they know I do it big.
Okay, and I actually found that it does a really good job of the spatial awareness of the room. Again, the idea is to be sitting in the mixed position with sources in the room as opposed to, in the headphones on either side of your head. All right, and for the final demonstration here, I've got some metal loaded up. Once again, we'll start it with the plug-in off. I'll add in the NS10s. We'll work our way through the various monitors, and I'll move my head around for the face profile. Again, the Exigy's the levels up a little bit versus the others. We can back that off in the control here. The idea, again, is to balance out what's coming in and out as much as possible so that when we want to A/B test, we can really hear the difference. Yeah, and the plug-in definitely, to my ears, positions the audio in the room instead of on either side of my head. So it's doing its job. Let me turn my head around and we'll see what happens. Okay, and so just as with all the genres, it actually matters the direction we're facing, and definitely the levels are something to be aware. Again, I've reduced the levels here for the Exigys. I'm going to go back to the NS10s and watch the monitor levels on the right. Back to the Exigys. And so from my perspective, I could definitely get a sense of where the sound was coming from in a room. It was very different in terms of spatial awareness. It wasn't just about the sound profiles of the different monitors. Yeah, there was more bass response on some were more mid-forward. That's to be expected. But it was really about the positioning, and I could get that sense as I moved my head around. I hope you could hear that change in perspective of where the sound. From your perspective, it'll be like someone was moving the speakers around your head. From my perspective, it was like the speakers were in one place. And as I turned my head, I either heard it from my right-hand side, my left-hand side, above me, below me. It was a pretty cool thing to experience. So let me know in the comments below what you heard. And if you're interested in audio production, either for music, recording, streaming, check out one of the videos on the screen. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.